Alright, we're going to do a quick tutorial on how to put a Cultivate helmet on a Wape. So, we got Blender open, we're just going to do general, get rid of this block here, I'm going to select our camera and just get it set up, head over to modeling, bring this out, set that 0, 90, bring this over into the center, down a little bit. There we go. You can tap 0 on the number pad and that puts you into camera mode here. So we're going to go through our settings. So to get set up before we get started, these are the things you need. So set up a folder, get the background image you want, and then the animation you want to put on top of it. So right now I got a void from Cultivate, and then set up a renders folder for where to render to. Once you have all those things, then come in here. We're going to start at the top. Up here, I'm going to select cycles and compute with GPU. And then come down a little bit, and under film, you're going to need to turn on transparent here. That's for later. We're going to go to the next thing. This is output properties. So we want to go just do 1080. So we got a nice square. Swap this to 30 FPS, do about 200 frames. And down here we're going to select our folder, our render folder that we set up earlier. PNG is fine, 16-bit, just for better quality. So that one's done. And I think that's about it for setting up. Next we want to get our thing in the background, so we're going to select our camera up here, go to the camera settings, and under background images, check that, and then we're going to add our image here. So now we got our Wape in our background. I'm going to turn the opacity all the way up, and it looks like it's good, but you can change this if you need to set it up differently, but stretch, we'll crop it. And then next up, we're going to go over to File and Import, grab our FBX file from Void, got it animated, and then we're going to do the half visor to open animation. So now we got our helmet down here, so we're going to move it up a bit, and then press S, or use this here, press S to scale it, not W, S. Get about the right size. Oh, that looks pretty good. You can go side view and maybe rotate it a little bit too. Get it looking a little more straight maybe. Whatever you feel like doing. And then once we have that, you can press the space bar to play the animation anytime, but you see we still have this background, the back of the helmet that you see in the background. So what we need to do next is add in just a UV sphere is fine. You can get more complex with this, but we're going to go down here and add UV sphere and bump this up to like, I don't know, 80. You can go even higher if you want more detail. Just makes more rings on the ball. And then we're going to right click, shade smooth there. That's going to shade this smooth. And we're going to make it a little bit bigger so it kind of looks more like a head. Too much. So play with it a little bit. Get the rotation. Just something like the face, you know. There we go. Okay, 0 again, go back to your thing. Now that covers up everywhere that it should, but obviously we don't want to see it, so head over to your object properties with it selected, and then go down to visibility and click shadow catcher. And now when you go up here to render view, it's going to show the background instead of the back of the helmet. Perfect. So next, oops, what did I do there? Alright, we'll make it a little bit smaller. His fur's kind of poking out a little bit there. It's probably good. Yeah, we gotta move our light maybe too. Something like here. I don't know. Play with it, see what you like. Just want to get some shadows on the face, that's what I'm looking for. That looks good to me. Next up, we're going to head up to shading. And what you have to do here is when you click on one of these spots, you get these nodes down here. And you have different ones that come with the materials, or with the Cultivate driver helmet. So you can go to, like, we'll start with the helmet first, and go back into your folder where you have the Cultivate helmet, go to your textures, void, that's going to be your base color, then you have visor, stone, source glass, plasma. So we're going to go to void, we're going to throw this on here. Go color to base color. You just want to match up and make sure you're going yellow to yellow. And then with the other ones, metallic for example, if you look on here, metallic, it's got a gray dot, so you want to hook up the alpha to that one. Boop. There we go, now we got some shine to it. And then throw the roughness on there if you want. Where's that go? Right here. That's what you end up with, and then you can just color it and change it however you want. So, oh, we didn't. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just take the roughness off though, and we're going to drop that way down so we get like a nice metallic sheen. You can play with this and add nodes and tweak it and stuff, but we're just trying to get a quick tutorial out. So we'll change a couple of these. I'll show you how to change this real quick. So say you want to just change a part of the helmet, you can go to duplicate here, or not duplicate, but new material, and it's just going to keep the same setup here. So we'll just rename this red, and then we'll get rid of the base color, or you could go in and change that in a different program if you wanted to, but you can just quickly do this. Get some red in here. Maybe not that red, but like a dark red maybe. Bring this down a little bit. There you go. And then you can do that with a few pieces. You just go back in here to the drop down and it should be pre-made for you. There we go. And then if you hold shift and you hit the left direction pad, that'll bring you back to the beginning of the animation. So this is the visor here, the half visor, so we gotta go back into our textures, go to visor, grab our visor color, and our visor roughness. And then if you want to get fancy, you can go down here to your alpha and make it a little bit see-through. Can't really see it right there, but if we go to this maybe, and this, now you can see it, yeah. So you can play with the alpha and make it a little bit see-through, so it's more like a shaded visor or something. A little darker maybe, something like that. Alright, so we got that all set up. Next thing we got to do is our animation. So we're going to go back over here, we're going to select our whole thing. We don't need our sphere, but it's fine if it's selected. So what you want to do is drag this up or open up your playback sheet. But all we got to do is grab this, right click, duplicate, slide it over. You don't got to click or anything, just slide it over. And then we're going to right click it again. We're going to go to mirror, times over current frame. It's going to throw it all the way back over here though, so we got to grab it and just move it back over here. And now our animation opens up the helmet and then closes the helmet. Boom. Looks good to me. Next step is compositing. So we're going to head up here to compositing on the top, and we're going to click use nodes. I don't think it matters if you have that selected down there. So we're going to click use nodes up here. It's important. And then we're going to add a color alpha over here. And we're going to change this, hold control and click and drag it down to the bottom one, because it's going to be our background or our foreground image. And then we're going to go add input image. I'm going to click that there and open up a little open button on the bottom here. You're going to open up our background Wape and then drag that image to the top one. And lastly, we're going to add a distort scale right here. And then we're going to switch this down to render size, and then whatever you set for your background. Where's my background? Camera. Background images. So whatever you have set here. So I have crop, so I need to select crop here, and that should set it. So and then go up here to render, animation. Let's make sure we got a Wape when it finishes the first one. Okay, so we got the Wape thrown up in the background there, so looks good to me. I'll follow up this when we get back and finish with rendering 200 frames here. While we wait for those to render, you can head over to Google and go type in DaVinci Resolve, and you go to the Blackmagic Design website here. Scroll down a little bit and pick up the free download now version of DaVinci Resolve. Okay, so our Wapes have finished rendering here. We got 200 frames done. And go over and double check in our renders folder. Make sure all of our Wapes are there. They are. So next we're going to go open up DaVinci Resolve and go new project. Call it Wape create. We're going to skip the update, I guess. Alright, so first thing we want to do, head down to edit, and then we're going to grab our images here. Actually, first thing we want to do before we do that is go down to the settings. Up here, top left, DaVinci Resolve, preferences, user. Oh, there it is, editing. Set still duration to 1 frame. You want to have this set to 1 frame here. It's going to be default on seconds, 5 seconds, but you got to change it to standard still duration frames 1. Save. And then, do we have to do something in here? Change this to 30 FPS. Oh, up here at the top, 1080. That was the other thing. And there you go. It should be set with all of our settings. We're going to save those. And then we're going to grab all of our images and drag them into here. Now we have our whole video in here. So if you wanted to add audio or something like that, you could do that here. Just drop in an audio file and sync it up. And next we're going to go down to deliver. And over here on the left, depending on how you want to export it, we're going to call it Wape _ Cultivate. And browse. look for our folder, save it there, and then the rest of this, we got 1080. I guess you can change that also in here if you wanted to, and the frames as well. Quality, set that to high, and add to render queue, and then render all. It's gonna make our video. So open our folder back up. Boom, we got our Wape video now. So this will be the high quality version of it. And next thing we want to do is head over to a GIF making program or compression program. I like to use Easy GIF. Go to video to GIF. You don't have to do this part. This is just to turn it into a PFP because you have to compress the file size a lot. Also, having some area around the edges is kind of good. So we'll go to how we like this. I'm gonna optimize for static background. That'll make the file size a little bit smaller, make the colors show up a little better, I think. So convert to GIF, save. Wait, PFP. Save it there. Now we have a nice little 2 megabyte GIF of our Wape that we can go and put into our PFP on Discord or wherever they allow GIFs. Have fun.